Welcome to the Whiskey Vault. I am Rex.
I'm Daniel.
This is Daniel. He's reading, which is just titillating YouTube content. This is a whiskey called Bond and Lillard.
Yeah, now two people gave us the same bottle.
Bourbon whiskey.
Eric Evanson.
Eric Evanson, you magnificent bastard.
Fight.
And then a little while later,
I like that label though.
you like it?
Yeah.
Victoria Camacho also brought us the
Victoria Camacho, you magnificent bastard.
Fight.
same. Eric wrote a note saying, hey, I've been watching since December of 2018. You guys got me into whiskey. So thank you.
Yes.
You met Eric at the Bastards Ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Eagle guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The Eagle guy.
We put in Vito, the Whiskey Pixie, the Whiskey Stallion. We strapped him in an eagle costume and sent him
That Eric brought.
buzzing about. Oh yeah, this is the first episode. Are these the first episodes we've shot? Since,
I don't even know what the
since
timeline
the
is.
since the Bastards Ball.
First ones we've shot since the Bastards Ball.
Okay. Yes, all the magnificent bastards that came to Austin to hang
Hell
out with
yes.
us at the Bastards Ball. That was a hell of an event. Many free whiskeys were poured by the distilleries. Thanks to all the distilleries that came. Hope everybody enjoyed the tower tours and all the whiskeys being represented and all the YouTube channels. Big thanks to all the YouTube channels that showed up. I mean, there was about as many YouTube channels as there were distilleries.
There were more.
Okay, just hanging out and
Yeah.
streaming content and doing whiskey badassery with the tribe. Right, so.
So this is a Campari product, as in Campari, the company,
Wow, perfumey, man.
right?
Yeah.
And they are using Wild Turkey's distillery to distill it.
Okay.
And it's a 75 corn, 13 rye, 12% malted barley.
75
And they're
corn,
using it-
13 rye. Okay.
Yeah, they're using it to revive an old brand called Bond and Lillard that dates back to the 1800s.
I think the base of it is going to be more of a floral than a fruity, but it's so intensely floral, it presents almost as a perfume.
It really is. And by the way, this is at least 7 years old in theory.
Yeah.
Now, their original
Very-
releases,
Very pretty whiskey.
like Eddie wasn't involved in the Wild Turkey, Eddie Russell wasn't involved, but they said in the more recent ones, Wild Turkey is actually involved in the process, not just letting them contract the distillery out.
Right on. Damn.
This is pretty. It's
Yeah,
pretty.
no, I'm living in the nose right
Can
now.
I tell you, I really like this bottle too.
I'm just
So much. 375. This is my favorite 375 milliliter bottle I've ever held on to.
So, totally not stealing this design. No,
Yeah. Oh, I like it. It's candy, perfume, and flowers with a little bit of black pepper, spice, and barrel tannin.
The nose, once again,
I'm looking for something that comes next.
I'm liking the nose a little bit more than the taste.
I agree.
But that's not to take away from the taste. It's
I
a
agree.
lovely taste. The nose is a little bit more magical, though.
Wow, that's weird.
It's 50%.
The smell turns into like old lady perfume mixed with bread.
It's 100 proof. And again, we are not out of the boundaries of what you're gonna get out of bourbon. But I think yesterday we had it was a traditional bourbon on the palate. This is also categorized as a traditional bourbon, but it's like opposite. Hold on. All right. So, if this is the breadth and depth of all traditional flavors, right? This whiskey is here, and yesterday's whiskey was here.
Yeah, neither of them are dead center of the bourbon world.
Right. So, like, some people say bourbon all tastes the same.
I've said that. But mostly just when I was giving to Chrissy Martin.
Fair enough. But I think if you're going from breadth of the spectrum compared to breadth of the spectrum, a bourbon spectrum versus like a Scotch spectrum. It's like, yeah, Scotch. I mean, they're just opposite ends of flavors in general. To have a sweet Speyside compared to a smoky Campbelltown or an Islay. I mean, you don't get flavors that the human palate can even perceive that can be more different than that. But bourbons are going to be a little bit more narrow of the spectrum, but there's still plenty of room, plenty of opportunity for variation in there.
I'm starting to get these weird, like, candied soda notes. Like from an old candy shop soda fountain. Like a cherry soda. Like when they add cherry flavoring to a soda fountain.
It's like a cherry slushy.
Yeah. Like
And then
candy.
you're next to a taffy machine.
Yeah.
That's doing the
You see what
taffy.
I mean?
Yeah.
It reminds me we're in Galveston. this last summer.
Oh.
And we went to one of the old candy shops right there on the water.
Right.
It's all wood floor and dusty wood smelling, but you're in a candy shop.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of that a little bit. And the guy was in there doing a live taffy pull, cutting candy pieces, throwing them out to the crowd.
I think that would be fun for about 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's how long we stayed.
Okay.
And even the boys were like, that was good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like...
And then we
oh,
moved on.
this should-
And it was also when I discovered I have a very odd child in Cash. Because we said, boys, you can have any piece of candy you want in this whole place. He chose a marshmallow thing that was this big, like a dinner plate on a stick.
Right?
Right? And Jackson chose like an ice cream or something.
Yeah.
We start walking down the street. Cash gets about 4 bites in. And he's like, I think I've had enough sugar for today. That's what he says. That's the direct quote. And I look at him and I go, what? He says, I think I'm done eating this because I feel like I've had enough sugar for today. And I'm like, okay, do you want me to hold on to it? He said, no, if you don't mind, I would rather just throw it away because it's probably not going to keep very well. This is my 8-year-old. An 8-year-old, I think I've had enough sugar, and I'm going to throw it in the trash can because I don't think it'll save.
So what I get from this story is you are such an old man.
Yeah.
Even your children are old men. That's enough sugar for me. Mm-hmm. All right, we got Chris J. I would like to see Rex and Daniel go camping in the forest.
Ah.
Backpack and lots of whiskey.
Yep.
Start a bonfire and give a list of the best camping whiskeys now that we have this beautiful fall weather.
Yeah, in Texas, camping in the summer sucks. Because you have to have a fire to cook anything. If you want
Right.
to camp in Texas, spring and fall are really the best times to go camping.
Do you own any camping equipment?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what I own? A pellet gun. It's about as campy as I get.
I've got tents. I've got sleeping bags.
We'll share a sleeping bag.
I've got some... No.
Dibs
no.
on outer spoon. King of Cards 91 on the subject of rectified spirits. Someone in the Facebook group once shared a recipe for Indian whiskey from the Old West where one of the ingredients was 4 rattlesnake heads per barrel
Yeah, right.
with no specifications to the size of the barrel.
Yeah.
As horrifying as that sounds, I kind of want to try that.
I know, right? So it's story time, Rex.
Are you talking about the
Yeah.
whiskey that you've tainted?
Yeah.
The...
So, one day last year...
All right. Hold on, I'm going to let you finish. So, Daniel, so often squeamish about the things that I try and do to make it a little bit more lighthearted and silly and
Yeah.
frivolous. Especially on the Whiskey Tribe channel. We'll try and do a shenanigan every episode. Now, the you're about to describe. You concocted this.
Yeah.
You executed this.
Yeah.
You consumed this.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, so someone called down from the Welcome Center a year and a half ago, and they're like, hey, there's a rattlesnake by the back door where the bride's bridal changing suite is. Now, normally out here, if we find a snake, we just pick it up and shift it off the edge of the property because they're all over the place. There's no point in trying to kill them.
We tell
this
everybody
one-
after the bastards.
Yeah. But this one was right by the bridal changing suite, and that's kind of a problem. So I went down there and cut its head off. Or actually, I dropped a rock on its head, killed it. But it didn't look like it was dead because a rock had compressed the head and killed it, but the head just sort of came back to normal size.
Hope you're enjoying your lunch break.
Yeah, so I then had this snake that was dead and only about 1.5 foot long rattlesnake. It was probably only about a year old. And so I brought it up here to the back table where Rex and I reviewed whiskey. And if you go back in time, there's episodes where there's a full rattlesnake moving because of the nerves still kicking in.
Really?
And shifting on the table behind us while we're drinking whiskey.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And then when I got done, I was like, you know, it'd be great if we put this into a whiskey bottle. It'd be, right? And I had this empty bottle of Macallan M. And I thought, how funny would it be if people thought I dropped a rattlesnake into a $5,000 bottle of Macallan M. So I grabbed the empty Macallan M bottle, I dropped the dead rattlesnake into it, and then I filled it with Jack Daniels. Mm-hmm. And then I neglected to remember that 40% alcohol is not high enough to preserve things.
No, it's not.
Yeah, so the next day, Chris Maddock, one of the writers and instructors at our school, showed up, and I'm like, hey, look, I got this dead rattlesnake whiskey. And he was like, and Chris is like our own personal Hunter S. Thompson. He was like, hey, we should try it. And it's me and him in my office. And I'm like, game on, let's try it. So I open it up and immediately you can just smell dead snake in the bottle. And I pour us 2 glasses about this much probably. And I'm like, are you ready? He's like, yeah, I'm ready. And we both just down it. And instantly it just tastes like cheap Jack Daniels and dead snake. Like if you're wondering what dead snake is, just imagine it. It's like that.
So you have an answer if anybody ever asks you, what's the weirdest pairing you've ever had?
Yeah, dead rattlesnake, 24 hours dead rattlesnake and Jack Daniels.
Do you remember who we made clean the bottle?
Oh, it's your brother.
Was it my brother?
Jake had to go out in the woods and hose it out.
Was it Jake?
Yeah.
Oh, I
it
think-
smelled so. By that point, it had been in there for like 3 months though.
Yeah, I think-
And it was bad. Like we cleaned it with bleach, it still smells like dead snake. Anyway, so we finished that sip and we're standing there silently, both going and we poured something else and tried to rinse our mouths out. And then it's silent for about 5 minutes because Matic and I regularly hang out and don't talk.
Right.
And Matt goes, "All right, you mother. Here's the thing. You've got a family, and you're going home to your family, and if something goes wrong, your family's gonna notice, and they're gonna take you to the emergency room. I live all by myself, you bastard. If something goes wrong with you, you better find out where I am, and make sure I'm not dying in my apartment alone."
Right. All right. Here, hey, should we
That's
mention?
a really long video. Dry week.
Oh. 20...
Friday at noon, October 25th, ends November at noon, and we'll end with a live stream on that Friday.
November 1st. Mm-hmm. And we'll end with the live stream. If you choose to opt into the dry week and it's a week of not drinking alcohol, then at the end of the week we're going to give a link, and the whiskey challengers who successfully completed the dry week with us are going to go up on the website. Here's to fighting, stealing, and drinking.
If you fight me, I fight for a friend.
If you steal, may you steal, love yourself.
And if you drink,
may you drink with us. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us in the Whiskey Vault. Don't forget to throw in a like, hit that subscribe button on the bottom right, and drop a question or comment down below.